a mentor said to me, give in abundance with expecting nothing in return. And immediately I went, what do you mean nothing in return? I need to make some money, bro. And I know people listening to this right now, they're saying the same thing, Todd.
It's the people that give out just of themselves, almost indiscriminately on people around them. Those are the people that are overflowing with passion and purpose, right?
Because you help people upgrade their brain, upgrade their mindset, upgrade their reality. Like, what would you say is the biggest cause of why people don't achieve their dreams?
Limiting belief, failure to be present, thought life. What you think on long enough develops a belief system in you, and your beliefs are what dictate your actions. So if a kid grows up and the mom says, I wish you'd never been born, I don't want you around, I mean, all these terrible things, kids hear that, they think it and hear it long enough that it starts to build a belief system. And once it grabs hold, once that belief system grabs hold, it begins to dictate the trajectory of that person's life.
So today, I'm so excited because for my people that are watching this, whether you're on my YouTube channel or on my email list, my social media, I have world-renowned brain expert for entrepreneurs and high-level executives, Todd Phillips. Todd, my man.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Todd's here in London. He just gave an amazing keynote at my high-level mastermind. People spend $50,000 and upwards to join this private mastermind. It's called my 8-figure mentorship because people really want to scale. And you came in and you blew everyone away and you did these crazy exercises like getting people to remember things like 10 words in a row. I never seen anything like it in my life. And my wife looks at me and she goes, this is for you. You should be paying attention. And
I heard her say that.
I looked at her and I thought, what is she talking about? But Todd, I'm so excited, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for having me here today.
Thanks so much for your time. You're super busy, running around different countries, speaking here, speaking there, educating there. And so it's a blessing to have you on my podcast. And for those of you who are listening to the audio on iTunes, be sure to leave us a review on the Shaqir Hussyin podcast. With that being said, Todd, listen, your resume goes so back, right? Like, you've raised $30 million for charity. You've basically brought clean water to the country of Liberia. I mean, you've worked with Nobel Prize winners, athletes, entrepreneurs, CEOs, celebrities. You're in great shape for your age. You have an amazing mindset. I mean, like, dude, like, what's going on? Like, what are you smoking? Not that I smoke, but like, what's the story? How did you get to where you are right now?
Well, it's a great question. I think I'll be honest with you, Shaqir. It's hanging out with guys like you. That's what it's all about. I'm serious. Look, it's who you hang out with, right? It's the people you hang out with the most. I think I've been very blessed over my life to, have certain people in my life at certain times to come and teach and pour into me. And I hope that's what I do with other people. But that's really the credit I give to other people. And their decision to pour out to me and be selfless. So I've tried to do more of that. I think that's why I got into nonprofit work. I was a pastor for a long time. And, that you're talking about the $30 million that I raised for charity, the work that we did in Liberia. The thing about Liberia is interesting. We brought water. I've told you the story many times. We brought water to a developing nation for the first time in history. It never happened before. But that was driven out of a mindset of abundance. We were talking about this earlier, right? I mean, the bottom line is there's enough money, there's enough passion, there's enough hands and feet in this world to go solve most of the world's problems. Did you know that I think it's $10 billion is the latest estimate, that $10 billion would be enough to provide water to the entire continent of Africa permanently?
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, anyway, you were asking me kind of how I got here. It's just been a learning process, and really deciding, having the right mindset to decide to pour out, because I learned this from someone else, pouring out and expecting nothing in return, right? So it's about giving as much as you can give. The crazy thing about that, regarding mindset, regarding the way you feel, the people that give the most get the most out of life. The people that give the most, that really pour themselves out, are the most passion-filled, purpose-driven people anywhere. Just watch, look around you. You're one of those. You pour yourself out, you throw yourself out there, you're building a business, you're sharing some incredible things with people like me so I can go share my story better. But the more I spend time with you, the more it makes it's just clear as it can possibly be. All you do is pour out. All you do is pour out. and you see these incredible people, just you're like a magnet with these people. It's an incredible thing to see. I'm one of those. So
I appreciate it. So let's kind of dive into some of these things, because who were you when you were 12, 15 years old growing up? What was life like that, right? Like today you're the superstar, you're here in London training my students. I'm learning from you. My wife is learning from you. Dude, like, tell me, who were you when you were like 12, 15 years old?
Wow. I grew up in a mobile home in southeast Austin, Texas. My dad left when I was 6 months old. I'm an only child, so it's just me and my mom. My grandparents actually moved into the trailer, the mobile home next door, to help raise me. So basically, I was raised by my grandmother and my mom, only child. Didn't even realize I was living in poverty for quite a long time. In fact, I was offered a scholarship to this private school when I was a kid. And when I got into elementary school in this private school, that was the first time I realized that not everybody lived in a mobile home park. I mean, it was crazy. All these private school kids had big houses, nice cars their parents were driving up in. It was the first time I realized that I was in a different space. It's a very interesting time in my life, but that's how I started. I mean, that's where I came from. Because of that, I have an incredible love for my mom, and I realize the older I get, how much she poured out. We were talking about that just a minute ago, right? She really did pour out on me, expecting nothing in return, and she had a lot to do with my mindset today.
That's incredible. In terms of even pouring out, right? Like, I remember a mentor said to me, give in abundance with expecting nothing in return. And immediately I went, what do you mean nothing in return? I need to make some money, bro. And I know people listening to this right now, they're saying the same thing, Todd. They're like, hey, mate, it's okay for you, dude.
Yeah.
But what happens if, like, I'm giving it and I'm not receiving anything back? Or, once upon a time I gave and these people took advantage of me. So from now on, I'm not giving anything to nobody.
Yeah.
What's your advice to someone saying that?
Oh, man, I spent 20 years as a pastor, right? I spent 20 years talking to people about this idea, right? The reality of abundance, because it's a reality, right? And pouring out, expecting nothing in return. I mean, it was a mantra. I talked about it all the time, because so many people, the reason I talked about it is because so many people didn't buy it, right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
They didn't buy it. It took situations, sacrificial moments, challenges in people's lives to start to really understand what that abundance mindset's all about, right? Because so many people are that. When I was a kid, I was scrappy, because I grew up in that trailer park and I had nobody telling me how to get things done. My mom was working full time, no dad around. I mean, I was trial and error every day, right? And it was all about scrapping, getting by, getting something from. I mean, that was me. It took me a long time to figure out that that's the worst way to live life. Like, if you're trying to get something, I mean, if you even want something, if that's even your mindset, that if I give something, I want it back, that's the worst way to think. It's the people that give out, like you, I'm telling you, man, you're one of those people. It's the people that give out just of themselves, almost indiscriminately on people around them. Most of those times, those are the people that are overflowing with passion and purpose, right? And it just flows out of them on other people. Man, they're the ones that get the most. It's a strange irony of life. It really is. But it's a law. It's the law of the land.
Yeah.
It really is.
So in terms of like someone that, because you help people upgrade their brain, upgrade their mindset, upgrade their reality, like what would you say is the biggest cause of why people don't achieve their dreams? Like, what's really happening? For example, like when you tell me this story of you went from trailer park kid to pastor for 20 years, raising millions. Now you're this entrepreneur, helping executives and entrepreneurs with their brain health.
Yeah.
Like, you've obviously, created some sort of reality that you're happy with. You said to me a few days ago, hey man, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
I'm in the best relationship. I'm doing this. And you just had this smile and this childlike, just twinkle in your eyes, dude. Like, without sounding too weird, I just looked at you.
No, man, that's where I am.
That's really cool, man. Like, this guy is happy in the moment. Like, you won't even, like, on your phone checking TikTok and Instagram. You like, just be there with me and someone else, right? Like, why is it that a lot of people get stuck and they're stuck in a rut for years or for decades?
Yeah, so 3 things. A limited mindset, limiting beliefs, the failure to be present, right, and their thought life. Those really are limiting belief, failure to be present, thought life. First of all, and I've said this to so many people, and people just don't follow. I'm telling you, it's shocking the number of people that can't get some of these ideas, and it's because of their limiting beliefs. So I tell people all the time, what you think on long enough develops a belief system in you, and your beliefs are what dictate your actions. So if a kid grows up and the mom says, I wish you'd never been born, I don't want you around, I mean, all these terrible things, kids hear that. They think it and hear it long enough that it starts to build a belief system. And once it grabs hold, once that belief system grabs hold, it begins to dictate the trajectory of that person's life. Okay? The other side of it, mom and dad love you. They tell you all the time, you're special. We love you. We're so happy that you're in our lives. Thought, belief, trajectory in life. Okay, so a lot of people really have limiting beliefs based on the things they've been told their life, especially when they were kids. So a lot of people I talk to, when you go far enough back, if they're willing to do it, it really comes down to the words, what was spoken to them early on in their lives. And it creates that limiting mindset. I'll give you an example with me. My dad left when I was 6 months old, right? I didn't have to have him tell me I wasn't worth anything. He left. So I thought for so long, my dad didn't love me. He left, right? Kids deal with those situations all the time. There's a 50% or greater divorce rate, right? And I'm not saying that you can't work through that and can't find love after that and can't find abundance through the process, right? We all go through challenges. But that thought began to build a belief system in me, right? And it really dictated the trajectory of my life for quite a while. I remember going to that private school I just talked about. Dad leaves me. I'm not worth, right, what I should be. Something's wrong with me. And then I go to a private school with a bunch of people with a bunch of money. I remember this kid telling me one time, his name's Scott, I'll never forget it. I got there a few weeks into my first year at this elementary school with all these wealthy kids. And Scott seemed to be the coolest one around. So I walk up to Scott one day, I remember with all these limiting beliefs, right, the self-doubt that I had already. And I said, Scott, who are the cool kids? That's what he said to me. He goes, well, you're not one of them. I'm like, wow. Right? Limiting beliefs. So he was putting more into the fueling that fire, that belief system, and really helping that trajectory, self-doubt, limiting beliefs. And that's how those things happen. The cool thing about the brain, it's called neuroplasticity. All right? The brain can change. We used to think the brain was fixed from about 15 years old on. Well, we found out in the last 20 years, probably the greatest discovery, in my opinion, regarding health, mindset, the brain, how we age, is neuroplasticity. We can actually create new neurons in our brain. We can rewire, create new connections in the brain throughout our entire life. So take me, for example. I had all these negative thoughts and these limiting beliefs. I met a few people that really began to speak truth into my life and talk to me about these habits of mind. And it changed everything. We can change our belief system and change our lives. We can upgrade our brain and upgrade our lives. It's possible any day, any moment. Any person can do it anytime.
What's one starting point, or what's an actionable thing I can do? People watching and listening to this, what can they do? One thing to just like have that shift in their mind.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. I'll say one thing I tell people all the time is this. Dealing with our thought life, right? Pick one challenge. Is it a bad habit? Is it a negative thought? Is it a limiting belief? Like maybe you do. Maybe you're watching this right now and you think, man, that describes me. You know, Todd's talking about me, not at the age of 15, but me at the age of 42 right now. I have these limiting negative thoughts about myself. As crazy as this sounds, the science is in. Neuroscience has proven this. If you begin to transfer your beliefs or your thoughts, transfer the words that you speak. Instead of I'm worthless, I'm worthy. Instead of no one likes me, I mean, these basic thoughts you might have heard in elementary school, which I did. People do like me. I'm worthy. I care for other people. Positive statements, again, said long enough, said over and over again, begin to change your belief system. Rewire your brain, build new connections. The neurons, the synapses that fire together when those thoughts are happening, wire together.
Wow.
And the more you say those things and the more you believe them and see them in your imagination, that wiring gets cemented in. cemented into your psyche and allows you to have a positive mindset, it changes the trajectory of your life.
Wow. I just realized, I mean, people listening to this, they can do this, but I'm going home and there's been a few thoughts in my mind where I realized, wow, I have had bad beliefs around, for money, maybe it's great, but the personal ones, like only recently have I started really taking this into action where I'd always think, oh, it's like if I had a big win, then I deserve to go out and celebrate with food.
Sure.
Now, what happens if you're winning every day and you eat out every day, 3-course fancy meals?
Because you've got a lot of wins.
Thank you.
You're doing very well.
Thank you.
You're really helping a lot of people.
Yeah, what happens after 12 months? You don't like what you look like in the mirror. And I'm like, wow, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I mean, I just lost around 20 pounds. I'm feeling kind of good and healthy and I'm going to the gym.
You're looking great.
Thank you. However, I'm like, okay, that's a limiting belief that I got to make sure that doesn't seep back in.
Yes.
Into my life, because again, I'm listening to other people's stories of, when they lose weight, it's something that they call a rebound or something, that they just put it all back on, and this time they put it on more.
That's right.
And I was like, whoa, I don't want to do that, right? So again, one of the things that you were saying was crafting a compelling environment so you're around those people. Like, so.
Oh yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm sure many people watching this, you hear, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Again, science has proven that. Your brain responds to people because of the things they say to you, the actions they take around you, the way they respond to you, right? All of that matters. And if you have, I just can't tell you this with more passion, if you hang out with people that suck you dry, right, they are going to pull you down. I remember doing this with my son one time because he really didn't understand the concept. He's a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, and I was talking to him like, your friends are everything. Your friends are everything. You got to pick the right friends. Why? Because they're going to encourage you and lift you up when you need it the most. That's what friendship's all about. And I talk. And I'd say if you get bad friends that really tear you down, they're going to pull you down. One time we were at a swimming pool, public pool, and we had talked about that a few days before, and I was like, I got this. So I went over and I put Parker, that's my son, again, 5, 6 years old. And I put him up on the side of the pool, and I was down inside the pool. And I said, Parker, I'm kind of tired. I want you to pull me up out of the pool. He goes, I can't pull you up out of the pool, Dad. I'm like, come on, let's try. And I gave him the hand. And of course, he's pulling real hard, and he can't get me up there, right? And then I said, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you trying to do that. And I just barely pulled like that. Flies right over me, right? And I said, you know what, Parker? I said, that's like friends. I said, they will pull you down easily, and it's very, very hard to pull negative people up. Wow. They will always bring you down. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't spend our time loving on people, right? But there's a difference between loving them, serving them, right? Helping when they need it, and allowing them to engage with you throughout your life every day and have a negative effect on you. I can go help somebody. That's my passion. I do it all over the world. But you got to be careful, right? It's a difference between friendship and service.
Yo, gosh, I feel like I can talk to you for ages, Todd. Oh my gosh, this is incredible stuff. Listen, if you're watching this, you want to make sure that you're going back and rewinding this and playing this over and over again, because repetition is what creates mastery. And I want to respect your time, Todd. I wanted to, because I know you're giving away a free case study.
Yeah.
That to my subscribers, to my listeners right now, to people that are following me on social media and on my email list. And it's a case study that you've just put together. Mm-hmm. It's about, I think, 45 minutes to an hour long presentation. And I want to give this to you. So it goes beyond just like some video. And because of the nature of what you're going to share, it's not available for free on YouTube or any social media sites. It should be underneath the video somewhere. Mikey, my video guy, is going to stick it in there. Be sure to go check it out, because I can tell you the profound impact that you've had on my life in just the short time that I've known you, and my clients and my family, because you just met my best friend of the last decade. Right?
You're telling me all about him. He's great.
And he's here. So we're going to have a lot of fun this week and for our relationship that we're building on. But I wanted to encourage people, if you're in that phase where you know there's something going on in your mind. Maybe it's a limiting belief, it's self-sabotage. Maybe it's like you're making 1 or 2 sales, but then you don't make 10 sales because something gets in the way, or you have this negative feedback or imposter syndrome. A lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they suffer with this, right? It's like, am I good enough? Is this going to work? Did I just get lucky? Or they have a win and then they burn themselves down to the ground. And I believe that you are one of the best at helping people unlock their potential. So guys, listen, go check out this free masterclass Todd is putting on. You want to listen, you want to pay attention. And I just want to say, listen, man, thank you so much. We definitely have to do a part 2, dude.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love it. Listen, thanks for the invitation today.
Absolutely.
Really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So Todd, where else can people find you?
Easiest way is toddphillips.com. All my social media links, everything's on there, toddphillips.com.
Awesome.
I'm there and available.
Okay, I appreciate it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a comment below, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Thanks, Todd. Top man. All right.
Yep.